Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So let's begin with the next lecture of welding. Here we are dealing with electric arc welding. As you all know that we have already dealt with resistance welding in the last lecture. Now we will do electric arc welding. And electric arc welding is the process of joining two metallic pieces or melting of metals is obtained due to the heat developed by an arc struck between an electrode and the metal to be welded or between the two electrodes. Now I'm telling you in a very simple words, you have to produce an arc here just like that we have done in unit 1 with the arc heating. That means heating is done with the help of producing an arc. So now what we are doing, we will do the welding here with the help of arc which we will produce in between the electrode and the metal or in between two electrodes, and this is called arc welding, electric arc welding. Now let's begin with different types of arc welding. There are two types of arc welding. We have already dealt with this, carbon arc welding and metal arc welding. Now here I am just refreshing it for you that metal arc welding is again further subdivided into bare metal arc welding and coated metal arc welding or shielded metal arc welding. Okay, and again shielded metal arc welding, on the basis of what kind of welding it is further subdivided into coated metal arc welding, you can say, then hydrogen arc welding, inert gas welding and submerged arc welding. Okay, so now we will start with carbon arc welding. Carbon arc welding is actually, you can see the diagram that in this case we are using the DC supply. An electrode holder is there. That means what? A clamp is there. I'm just showing you. See, this is the electrode holder, this is the DC supply. Now this electrode holder is actually holding the electrode. See, this electrode is here, this is the electrode, and clamp is here to hold the electrode. Now in between the metal and the electrode, this arc is produced. That is what actually we are talking about, that an arc is produced either between the electrode and the metal piece you have to weld, or between two electrodes. Now here arc is developed between electrode and base metal which you are welding. What this will do, it will actually, when the arc is produced, it will melt the base metal, the electrode will also get melted and will spread over the base metal uniformly, because it is in liquid form, and once it gets cooled after the arc is removed, and once if it gets cooled, it will definitely make the base metal much stronger, and the welding is done accordingly. Okay, now in case of carbon arc welding, if we'll talk about this is carbon arc welding, the things that I want to tell you here is that in carbon arc welding we can do the welding in two ways, maybe for lighter metals and maybe for heavier welding. Okay, if we are doing the heavy welding, then the size of the electrode is somewhere around 25 mm diameter and current is around 800 ampere. Whereas if we are doing the very lighter welding, then the electrode metal, the size of the electrode metal is only 10 mm, whereas current is only 300 to 400 ampere. And what we actually do, because the high production of heat, because the heat is actually producing very high, this kind of welding is used for copper welding, as copper has a very high thermal conductivity. So remember this thing, just because copper has a very high thermal conductivity, normally carbon arc welding is used for copper welding. We have already learned this in the last lecture also. Now next is metal arc welding. See, the process is same. In case of metal arc welding, you can see here again either we can use an AC supply or we can use a DC supply. That depends on what kind of arc you can say what kind of material you are using to weld. Clear? Now see, if we are taking, again here is an electrode holder. This electrode holder is holding the electrode. Okay, there is a deposited metal also, always remember. Now see, and a flux coated metal electrode is here. This is the base metal or workpiece, that means to where you have to weld. So this is the metal which you have to weld. Now when an arc is produced, in between this, in between the electrode and the metal piece, then what will going to be happen? You can see as deposited material is here. Okay, we can see deposit material is here. So what will going to be happen? As an arc is produced, this metal will definitely going to what, melt, and this will spread over the workpiece which you have to weld. So this deposited metal will help in doing the welding, and electrode is helping in producing an arc. Okay, so this is all about metal arc welding. Let's comes to metal arc welding is again further subdivided into two parts: bare metal arc welding and coated metal or shielded metal arc welding. So in case of bare metal arc welding, I just want to tell you one thing, that in bare metal arc welding, the welding is open to atmosphere. That means what? The metal which you are welding actually is open to atmosphere. So when you are welding those things, it is open to oxidation process or the nitrogen process. That means nitrites will be formed, and sometimes these things actually it does not make the welding very proper, and the strength is also reduced in such kind of welding. If we are doing a shielded metal arc welding, then what will going to be happen? As you can see, the first one is atomic hydrogen arc welding. That means hydrogen arc welding is there. In this process, where you are creating an arc, that means this is the point where an arc is created. You can see that those tungsten electrodes have hydrogen gas filled in it. That means what? When you are producing an arc, then that arc is produced in the atmosphere of hydrogen gas. Now a filler material is there, as you can see. See, this filler rod will be kept on the arc, and this will actually melt. This is the pool of molten metal. See, the pool of molten metal, that means what? The metal which is actually in the form of liquid, it is filled here, and we are calling it a pool of molten metal. This is the base metal to which you have to weld. An arc is produced here. This filler rod will actually get melted, and it will make the welding proper. Okay, but always remember, the atmosphere that we are using is of hydrogen gas in case of atomic hydrogen arc welding. Okay, next comes inert gas metal arc welding. Again, the supply you can take maybe AC or DC, and inert gas normally that we use are helium or argon. Okay, now in case of inert gas metal arc welding, you can see that the arc flame which is produced here, see, you can see the arc flame which is produced here. Again, there is a molten metal and there is a base metal. This arc, and you can see that this nozzle is kept here, that means which is actually supplying the inert gas to the portion where arc is produced. We can give AC supply also, you can give DC supply also. When the arc is produced here, this particular molten metal, that means this particular metal, this will going to be what? It will get in the form of liquid. That means it will weld and it will spread over the base metal to make the welding proper. Okay, so this is how an inert gas metal arc welding done. Normally electrodes get welded. Okay, sorry, I mean to say electrode is actually helping in welding this. Sometimes in some cases electrode itself gets melted, and sometimes we are using a particular metal to get it melted for the purpose of welding. Now next is submerged arc welding. As you can see here, as you can see here, electrode is here, it is submerged in flux. This flux is made up of either you can say of carbon, or it may be of some other material, and this flux is maybe in the form of powdered. It gets melted when it comes near the arc. Again, a molten metal is there. Molten metal means the flux which is here, when it comes in contact with the arc which is produced with the help of this electrode, then this actually gets melted. This flux gets melted and it is in the form of luster. We have submerged the arc in the flux. Okay, and this is the parent metal. You can see this parent metal is actually the main metal which you have to weld. So when a molten metal is coming here, you will do the welding accordingly. Submerged arc welding means you have submerged the arc in a particular material, and here that particular material is flux material, so you are using flux here. Next comes to electron beam welding. This is the other type of welding. This is the last type of electric welding. So after that we will deal with different types of materials and some few more points. Electron beam welding is again similar to unit 1, electron bombardment heating. So we have already dealt with what electron bombardment heating is. Now you can see here, in case of electron beam welding, we can see a DC supply is here, an HVDC supply is given to this particular area from where the electrons will flow. Okay, a vacuum pump is created, a cathode is there, which is actually an electron emitting heating element. That means the cathode that we are using here, when we give a HVDC supply with the help of DC supply to filament, what will going to be happen? This supply is it actually, this particular wire, you can see the cathode, it will get heated. When it starts heating, it produces some electrons. These electrons, you can see those dotted lines. See from here, this dotted lines, they all move towards the electromagnet. Wherever they are moving, when you get heated, when the electrons start emitting, what will going to be happen? We have used an electromagnetic focusing lens. If any electron comes in contact with this focusing lens, or if it is scattered here, what these focusing lens do, they actually focus it on a particular point where you have to weld it. Okay, for example, this is where you have to weld it. This is a workpiece, and this electromagnetic focusing lens are connected in such a way that when electrons comes in contact with this, it actually what reflects back to a particular point. And this is how electron beam welding works. This whole process is done under a vacuum. Okay, now besides this welding, let's see how many types of welding electrodes are there. So as you can see that there are two types of welding electrodes. The first one is consumable welding electrode, and the second one is non-consumable welding electrodes. So what is consumable and non-consumable welding electrode means? First of all, let's come to non-consumable, because they are not further subdivided into any other part. Okay, so non-consumable welding electrodes are those which do not consume while the welding process. That means when the welding process is going on, electrodes are just helping in doing the welding. They do not get consumed, so they are non-consumable. Examples of non-consumable electrodes are carbon, graphite and tungsten, because these are the metals which do not get consumed during welding. Now let's come to consumable electrodes. Consumable electrodes are further subdivided into two parts. Again, the bare electrodes and the coated electrodes. We have already dealt with about all these things. So consumable, first of all, consumable electrode means the electrodes which get consumed. That means they get melted while doing the welding process. And we have already seen that in case of resistance welding, the electrodes do not get consumed, whereas in case of arc welding, the electrodes are getting consumed. Okay, so bare electrodes are actually those electrodes which are not covered with, or there is no layering of anything over the electrodes, whereas in coated electrodes means they are actually get a layer of some other materials. When we are using consumable electrodes, always remember that these electrodes have a length of about 200 to 500 mm, and their diameter is somewhere about 2 to 8 mm. Okay, now when we are using bare electrodes, as I already told that there is nothing deposited over the electrodes, then they are called bare electrodes, and they cause the formation of non-metallic constituents, which actually reduces the strength and ductility of the deposited weld. So that means what, if we are using the bare electrodes, they are not as strong as the coated electrodes. Now coated electrodes are again further subdivided into two parts. The first one is says lightly coated, and the second one says that it is heavily coated. Lightly coated means one and two layer, whereas heavily coated means they have a very thick layer of some coating. Okay, so in case of lightly coated means hardly 1 mm layer is there. Okay, and if the layer is more than 1 mm, then it comes under heavily coated. This is all about today. Now we will deal about electrolytic process in the next lecture, the only topic that is left. Okay, then enjoy till then. Bye bye.